Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's stream of Lovecraftian Video Games, where I play a whole lot of these sorts of games for my thesis. This game is streaming to both Facebook and to Twitch, but I can't see any chatter that happens on Facebook, so if you want to talk to me directly, you'll have to talk to me on Twitch. So, a bit of housekeeping, as always, first and foremost. I can't promise that this will be a short stream or a long one, as I spontaneously pass out sometimes. Now, a little bit more detail on that. I haven't actually had an episode in about 36 hours, which sounds like a good thing, except for the fact that it means it's much more likely that I am going to have an episode at some point today. I've got a meeting later this evening, which I imagine is going to be much more likely to give me an episode, and I wouldn't be surprised if I had an episode just because that's in the back of my mind and stresses me out without my knowledge, and boom, done. So I'm going to stop talking about that because the less said, the better. But bear in mind, the other thing is I have got a new microphone, I've got a new setup, and hopefully, this is working exceptionally well, and you will all appreciate it. Tell me if the audio is much better than it was, and we'll go from there. So, there's a couple other things that I want to cover before we begin today. First off, we will be playing Darkest Dungeon today, and we will later today, so probably about 6-7 hours from right now, I hope to be playing some Stygian Reign of the Old Ones, assuming I am still conscious, of course. But I wanted to cover off a couple of things. So, some of you should be aware that I have slightly changed the model that I am working with. Excuse me. I have slightly changed the model that I'm working with. I have mostly just refined it a little bit more. I do have a video which is currently available on YouTube where I discuss this a little bit more detail. You can also watch that video on Twitch for the next few days. The other thing is the schedule. So some of you may remember that I had originally promised to do short game, long game, short game, long game, short game, long game. But I actually stopped about here. And the reason for that is because I have got a survey. You should know about it because I have mentioned it in a few streams now. I've got a survey for each game that I play where I essentially asking for your input, for your verdict. Do you think this is a Lovecraftian game or not? Do you agree with where I have put it on this pyramid? And the problem I've got is that I haven't got enough people having responded for me to know if the survey is going to give me the information I want. Now, the most important piece of information I don't have is, can you do the survey more than once? So I've got a whole lot of people who have put in their name and done one game, and that's it. And that's been great. It's told me the survey is working, but if you can only do the survey once, then there's a whole lot of games that simply aren't going to get reviews on, that aren't going to get your input. Your voice will not be heard. So I really need to find out, I really need to make sure that you can put your response in for as many games as you like. Obviously, I would rather you don't put in for the same game, I'd rather you diversify it, but that is what I need to know fundamentally. Once I've got that, the next thing that I need to make sure of is that the survey data, that I can manipulate it, that I can actually see it as a bar graph, that I can see it divided into, okay, who's responded to this one, what is the average response for this particular game, rather than all of the games in their entirety. So I don't quite have enough people who have submitted for me to start testing that information. So please jump on and do the survey for me, if only so that I can test and make sure that I don't need to change the survey, that I don't need to move to a different provider, because that is the main thing that is stopping me from playing a whole lot of new games. I just don't want to have 15 plus games on this pyramid only to find out that the survey isn't working, that the survey isn't going to be good, and that I have to essentially start the survey from scratch. That would be deeply problematic. Right now, it is fine, because I am keeping my focus on games that have a very long duration of play, so Stygian Reign of the Old Ones, which is what I'm trying to do every evening, at least every evening that I'm conscious and available, is between 16 and 113 hours. Darkest Dungeon is between 55 and 107 hours, and Cultist Simulator is between 19 and 66 hours. I'm trying to focus on those longer games, on those grind-heavy games right now, in order to give you, my audience, time to try out the survey and test it out for me. So that is why we haven't moved on to Dagon or Iron Long or PT or any of these other short, sweet games. That is it. That is the reason why we aren't currently exploring any of those things. So please test the survey for me so that I can get that confidence in the survey, in the quality of data that I'm going to receive, and we can start moving forwards. Or rather, we can start diversifying our game load. Because we are always moving forwards, whether we want to or not. Alright, so we might as well get started. That's all the housekeeping I can think of. Let's try this out.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house?
No, I don't. Sorry, mate.
Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor.
That just sounds like colonialism. New empires, says the historian who studies empires. Oh yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, game design is not my first field of speciality. My first field of speciality is actually in history and archaeology, and then followed it up with museum curatorship. Game design was the next thing, because my disability has ruled me out of pretty much all of those professions. So looking into game analysis and game research and trying to see, hey...
You answered the letter. Now, like me, you are a part of this place.
Yay, I'm a part of this place. Just, brief me up, puree me, and add me to the woodworks. Make me into a nice mortar. Alright, now, what was I looking at here? What are you doing? You are very stressed out. You're getting afflicted by fear. That is terrible. I have a stagecoach. Oh, a bunch of things are in stagecoach. This is fantastic. Alright, so... Oh, I didn't mention this. So, anybody who's been following me on Twitch and Facebook, essentially live, been keeping pace there, you'll know that I spent the last couple of streams where I worked on Darkest Dungeon mostly looking at my team composition and trying to decide what works, what doesn't, trying to understand what the character abilities are and how they can or can't work together. So I've still got a lot to do on that front, because like I've only seen a handful of heroes, and there's like, I think there's like 20 or more available heroes in this game. I've essentially looked at 10, maybe. I don't even think I've looked at that many. But I did test a little bit, so that is why you may see that I've got a little bit of a... For those of you following on YouTube in particular, you may see that I've got a little bit of a composition from the last time I played Darkest Dungeon. And that is because, well, yes, some time has passed, and I did a couple of dungeons without you. And I will probably do so again. I am going to be sending this video to YouTube, but in future what I am thinking of doing is engaging with YouTube only for the boss battles. So I'll be streaming to Facebook and Twitch this game as usual whenever I can, but if I start getting close to a boss battle, if I think, yeah, I'm going to take on that boss now, I will be stopping the stream, I'll be starting a new stream, and that is the stream that will actually make it to YouTube, that will actually stick around. And the reason for that, fundamentally the reason for that, is my impression of this game so far is essentially that The only Lovecraftian elements that I'm likely to find are in the opening cinematic, in the boss battles, and maybe in one area of dungeon, which I believe is the Cove. But I'm also not very convinced that I'm going to find anything really Lovecraftian there, again, except for the boss fights, because this game doesn't really do much in the way of lore drops. The story of this game is the story of your gameplay. It's emergent gameplay. It's, oh no, I've gotten so connected to Reynald and he's just developed this quirk, and oh, I've created a mental story in my head, and oh no, he died! This is tragic and harrowing. That may have sounded like I was mocking it, but that is the emergent gameplay. That is the stories that have come out of the game, not stories that are in the game. And we are looking for the stories that are in the game, more so than we are looking for the emergent story. Because the emergent story, we have no control over that. The creators don't really have a lot of control over that, because we, the players, are the ones who construct that in our minds. So when we're talking about Lovecraftian storytelling, we are very much looking at the embedded story, not the emergent story. So that's bringing it back around. That is why I'm going to be focusing the YouTube videos on the boss battles, and times that I just spend like looking at my team comp, time that I spend just grinding the dungeon, that stuff isn't going to make it to YouTube because that is kind of pointless for the thesis purposes. So, having said that, let's start having a look at what I've got here. So, I remember that Man at Arms was relatively good, but I haven't really played him at all, so I don't really remember what he was good at. But in the last session that I played, it was actually very dramatic. I lost quite a few champions. I lost my Jester, I lost one of my 3 Hellions. I didn't lose Dismas, but that is why he is so stressed out at the moment. Should I have any stress eater? Lovetress, right? He needs to go to the water. So, oh, and he can't. Ah, you are. This guy, I swear he must be programmed to go, hey, who needs the most stress? Are they locked in? You know, is there something that's locked that they can only go through? Yeah, we're going to go to that one and block it off. Dylan. Do I have enough? No, I'm not going to have nearly enough to unlock the next thing there. This is why it's such a grinding game, I guess, because this forces you to cycle your party out of one. But I do have these guys. Oh, do I not have a healer in that team? Did I not have a healer? So I know I took these 4 into a fight, and I must not have had a healer on that team. Wow, okay. I'm actually surprised that I did that. I like my healers. I really like my healers. So she looks like she'll be a really good healer. Oh, actually, yeah, I like her. So we're gonna pick her up.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
Good to know. And now I want a backup grave robber. So what did I like? I like that and I like that. Stealth I didn't care too much about, and the pick was useful because it covers the areas that those don't. So I don't care too much about the stealth at the moment. Let's see what she has. What was that? Oh, that's not too bad. That is a nice skill, which is useful. What about her? Oh, she has 20% extra damage versus somebody who is like her. She is part, like that would be part of the light combo. So that could actually work relatively well. That would mean that I could actually have essentially 2 teams, 2 identical teams, because not quite identical because they have slightly different going in. Is there another one? The most important thing is that she's got that one, which is the main thing I actually kind of want her for. But that, I think, will go very nicely. And a nice deep option. Yeah, we're going to take her. That one, right? Cool. Yep. Always helps I remember what I'm even doing.
To those with a keen eye, gold gleams like a dagger's point.
Good to know. What about her? She... Wait, exactly the same? Yeah. Have, oh no, she had judgment. Self-heal. Okay, I actually really like that. That is good. So we're gonna take her as well. So I'll
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
Good to know. Thank you for the commentary. So I really like the Vestals. So I'm a big fan of having healing in the team. The biggest problem I've got is actually I don't really have a space for them at the moment. So it might be a bad plan for me to have picked them up in the first place. But I've now got essentially 2 teams designed for tackling the ruins. So Blight is very good against the undead. The Grave Robbers are pretty good at disarming traps. Yep, both of them have got... Oh, she doesn't have 100%, but 90%. Both of them are very good at disarming traps. And Mr. Holy Man over here and Mr. Holy Man over here do a lot of the work. Now, the Hellion is a bit of a different factor. So the Hellion exists, like, it's fine with her. She works relatively well. I'm sure that I had... My memory is telling me that I had a healer in this team, and maybe I did. Maybe I didn't have my Crusader, and I had a Hellion and a Vestal. Ooh. I mean, I could always try and review the old stream and try and see what I actually had, but it doesn't matter too much. But the Hellions are quite nice, but they're not really designed for fighting the undead. So we're actually going to take them out of that lineup, because what I want to use the Hellions for is a bleed comp, essentially. Which, what I mean by that is that this team is essentially a blight comp. Its job is to destroy undead, and so will this team be. But not every dungeon is about the undead. Some dungeons are, well, most of the dungeons are fighting living things, and living things, blight doesn't do as much. Bleed is much better. So, I want to have a couple of bleed comps and a couple of blight comps. Ultimately, I could probably switch down to only having two teams, so that I only have one. I go do some ruins, kill some living people, do some ruins, kill some living people, and just sort of rotate the teams overall that way. But if I lose somebody, or if somebody is super stressed out, I want a backup. So I essentially want to have 4 full teams, 2 for blight and 2 for bleed. Now, let's have a look. I just want to double check what order. So, she really likes being in that spot. He is fine up the back, if I recall correctly. I just want to make sure. Yeah, the most important stuff is dropping blight for him, although that is, that at least allows him to do some damage. The most important thing is he can drop blight. And what about these ones? So she doesn't care too much, she can be in any of those spots, and he specifically wants to be here. That's about the only place I can really, well, yeah, I can put him in the back. Okay, yep, no, that those 2 lineups work relatively well. Excellent. I will actually just double check, because something. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Alright, so I'm gonna leave the rest of these, and in fact I can't take any more of them because I have a full team composition. And I think we're gonna take this team into the dungeon so that I have a chance to level up those two, and she'll need to level up as well. Now, what else? The only person who stresses him, and I can't do anything about that right now. I have some... not that much money. That is nice, but not that much money. So, I'm trying to play on a rule of always have at least 10,000 gold. And that's mostly because I don't know the game well enough, and I feel like a buffer is advisable, because a buffer is usually advisable. I could be wrong. This could be one of those games where actually, no, just spend all your money, do dungeon, come back, spend all your money, do dungeon. It could be something like that. But, until I know better, I want to play safe. So we are not doing that. We are definitely not doing that. That is the boss fight. What's this? Activate 3 holders. Ooh. I've done that. What that actually means. And it has got portraits. So that is something. What is that? Bible guide. That's just another trinket that I can give. And that one has portraits. Okay. What is that? Antiquarian only, so that's not just something I can use. And that is just general. So, between the two of them, I think I'm going to pick this one. I've never done these corrupted altars before, so I'm not sure what effect they will have. They might be something terrible, something utterly terrible that gives me nightmares. Yeah, but we'll find out. I'm actually going to change my mind. I'm actually going to use this team. I think this team is a stronger team. Since I don't know what the corrupted altars do, I don't want to take too many chances. Okay. Ooh. Oh, that's a quest item for the altars. Okay. And firewood. Okay, I've never actually used this before. I've never used firewood before. At least one shovel. Anti-venom. Okay. So we are going to buy up at least 8 food. So I want to make sure we have enough to get through the game. Otherwise, most of the healing, I'm going to rely on the vessel. I'm going to take some bandages just as a backup option, and that is a skeleton key. I always like to take at least one skeleton key, and we are going to pack at least 10 torches, which that is a good 1,500 for that setup. Now, the biggest issue with this is that I have very little inventory space remaining. So, I may end up getting rid of the bandage relatively early, but let me just double check something. Do I have... yeah, I don't have a way to cure bleeding on anybody without bandages. So I'm not likely to have to suffer bleeding, but if I do suffer bleeding at all, I've got to take those bandages. So, this is definitely our lineup. I'm going to hold off on buying another shovel. One shovel should be enough. Oh, why did I do that? I just did the escape key. Let's do that. What? Why did I lose? What? What? Oh, and automatically tried to take me to that one. Yeah! Yeah, no, let's fix that. I almost, whew! That would have been a problem. I am not prepared to deal with the boss. One of them, and 10 of them. No, 10. Back. Okay. That's better. Let's not press the escape key this time. Yes, come on, load. There we go.
Can the defiled be consecrated? Can the fallen find rest?
I don't know. There's one way to find out. The first way, by having her lead. Oh, I do love that scout ability. It's so nice. Check out the confession booth. Ah, that's a terrible thing to do. I liked it better when I wasn't stressed out from the confession booth. That is not a nice dungeon. Alright, let's see how well this thing works. I'm glad I picked this thing over the other thing. As I said, this is definitely stronger. And I apparently feel the help I can get, especially with that layout. Dodge. I don't need any skills. I guess we're going to be eliminating somebody. So I don't care about this stealth. But stealth is pretty much what I really prefer. So we are going to do.
Festering fear consumes the mind.
Dodge. I like these dodges. So, Stuff Blow is not as nice as I wanted to be, because I only have the one stuff. If I had more stuff, that would be great. So, I think, what do I really like to do here? Yeah, we're going to use it. We're going to try and do it. Alright, come on. Oh, no. One more second. Ooh. Hopefully that hasn't really heard not a great spot, but everybody else is fine. Oh, they switched.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. Continually onslaught. Destroy them all.
Alright, well she's in not a great one. Ah, perfect.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Their formation is broken.
Apparently it was enough to kill.
Maintain the offensive.
Definitely one way to do it, and you see what I was saying earlier is how I'm already almost at my limit. Let's fix that up.
A fortune waiting to be spent.
Why are they getting so stressed out? They're literally just walking down a corridor. Like, is it just straight up RNG?
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Like, I do wish that some of the mechanics were a bit less RNG, a bit more positive. Like, oh no, we have seen a thing. Yep, fair. But, like, there, now, why did he... Oh, maybe it was the trap? What was that? Like, what, do they just automatically take 3 or 4 lots of stress damage in every tunnel? That's probably how it works, to be honest. It's probably like each of those, you know, take some stress, take some stress, take some stress.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Yeah, I don't think that, because if I walked in, if I took another step, I think I would have stabbed myself and would have been bleeding. Hunger. Yep, everybody eat. Although I clearly do not have enough food and torches for this particular dungeon. Going all the way back is,
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
experiments yield no findings. What a shame. It'd be nice if you could provide some torches, though. Yep, scouting. That is a battle room, I guess. What's that? Place a torch if you crave the void. I do not crave the void, but so that's how it works. Okay. We are going to ignore that. Wait. Is that? Oh, is that what I needed to put? Right, no, corrupted alcohol. Okay. And that's it. I'm out of food. That is going to make the rest of this mission really hard. I lost my Vulcan. Not for this battle, but in the dungeon. I think I'm gonna have to finish this dungeon without actually properly clearing it. Also out. Do you mind? You guys can die. No, what did I just say about you guys? I need my people alive, thank you very much. Alright, everybody is killed. Yes, some more than others, but
A momentary abatement.
the wrong person. The one who doesn't need healing at all.
Another one falls.
Darn it. Yeah, actually, we're gonna have her go back up. I want to try and get.
The slow
I
death.
want to try and get another heal off.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
But I got some food. That's good. I absolutely needed that. So where are we now? We're there. Did I miss this one? Oh right, it was that. Well, tell you what. We're gonna try it. See what it does.
infinite malignity of the
I
stars.
wish I hadn't done that. Well, this is what we call a learning process. And what I have learned was touching things is a bad plan. So... I'll be quiet, so make it happen, I guess. And... yeah, let's... a lot. Oh no, this is a box fight. Oh, I should not have done this. I should never have done this. Oh no. If I win this fight, very much if I win this fight.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
I reckon.
A decisive pummeling.
I can make everything a lot easier.
Soothed. Sedated.
Be my turn. Ah! No!
Self-preservation is paramount, at any cost.
Okay. Stop. Come on, do this. No, he resisted. I'm really not sure how we're gonna pull this off. Yeah, basically. Pull our head back. That's going to be a bad position. I'm glad that everybody liking, and I definitely want to let those daggers go. We're healing everybody. Get all healed up. The heart will burst. Stress isn't that high, your stress is quite low. Fine. Yeah, we're gonna try and start it again. Oh, we've got 100% stun resistance. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, so scrap the stunning plan. That is never going to work. And oh boy, that is really bad.
Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
Oh, this is gonna be something. Why you don't try new things? Play it safe. Oh no! Oh, he is gonna die. He is absolutely gonna die. I can't heal him. I guess I can run away. That's the way to take totally viable option. Otherwise he's gonna die. And even if he does, like, he's masochistic. I can't heal him anymore. It's not useless, but he is so vulnerable. That is a terrible situation. I think we're gonna accept the loss. I think he's just gonna have to die. If I can't heal him, he's gonna die in the next dungeon. Ah, that is, such a annoyance. And really, no, that's the annoyance. That is the annoyance. And, I'm just going to go,
ground.
Well, why are you freaking that way, dude? Come on. We've got plenty.
Fear and frailty finally claim their due.
Yeah.
This skirmish may be lost, but the battle may yet be won.
Really? Really? Okay. Well, we are not completing this dungeon. That is not a thing that's happening. They are all super stressed out. Several of them are close to heart attacks. And yeah, this is like I don't know where this took me back. Yes, there's some stress, but
Great adversity has a beauty. It is the fire that tempers.
at least I made my money back. Panic for money. Faceless. Oh, faceless, that's good at least. Misses the destruction. Wow, they all lost out so bad there. The main thing I need to do now is check out what being selfish
I remember days when the sun shone and laughter could be heard from the tavern.
Okay. That is bad. That is really bad, actually. I'm gonna have to get rid of her just on that alone. And that's a shame. She had such decent abilities. What does she have? Next 10% link resistance. And nothing really. Some buffs, but not generally for potentially stress versus human. Lightning, missing spot. Yeah, this is hard. This is real hard. Well, let's start this. That's he needs. They all need stuff they can get, really. We're gonna put her there. Heal her as much as possible. Did the selfish only apply for that part of the dungeon? Oh, wait, no, there we go. Masochistic affliction. It doesn't give me a definition of masochistic, though. Fearful, I don't know. Okay, but I think that they pass over time. I know something apparently fades over time, and I guess maybe it's the afflictions. So let's have them come down. Don't raise your body. You need that. Rotate. I might have to start using that once I start knowing what things do. Masochistic is definitely something that's gonna have to put a bit on. Go away. No. And I still can't calm him down because he is taking up Brockle. He is a villain. An absolute villain. Now, what do I need? Blacksmith. I need to upgrade the armor? No. I need whatever those are. What are those exactly? These. I need these. Got plenty of crests. I need these. Okay. So, that is them. Oh, right, I just spent it on getting them to recover. I haven't really made my money back. I've had a massive monetary loss here. Painful. But we are not doing that mission. So this one is just explore all the items. This one, ooh, some D's. Definitely D's. And yeah, I can see that this is Fortress, but we are doing this one. Alright. Line them up and try again. All right, camping. Oh, I forgot I could have done that in that other mission. I just forgot that existed. I'm not entirely sure what that meant, what happened there, but let's do the normal thing. So we've got at least one shovel, one at least a food. I think next time I see something that is like a camping thing, I should remember to stock up on even more food. But that should be enough, I guess. See, I'm under 10,000. I was 1,600, I'm under 10,000. So that's the sort of reason why I want to keep a 10k buffer.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
So, an interesting thought I've had about this game, because, hey, this is a Lovecraftian game stream. Let's talk a little bit about Lovecraft. Is the main character doesn't exist. And what I mean by that, is that the lineup I wanted? I don't know. It probably does matter. Yeah, no, she wants to be back there. Anyway, what was I saying? Something like that. Yes, that is my thesis. Something Lovecraft. Closely followed by something and something. Oh, right, the main character doesn't really exist. So, none of these characters are your main character. They are, of course, mercenaries that you have hired. The you of this story is, of course, you're commanding the characters, you're ordering around. There's no representation of you anywhere in this game, but there clearly is a you. There is a you funding this expedition, but it's strongly implied in a bunch of different points that you are going on these adventures, that you are delving into the not just the 4 mercenaries, 4 plus 1. And you're a non-combatant, so nobody ever combats you. So, it's a little bit weird, because, in a sense, you're untouchable. You can go in and fight as many times as you want. On the other hand, you're also, in a way, not doing any of the fighting.
The wounds of war can be healed,
So,
but never hidden.
it's kind of fascinating. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to finish the frontliner, and that's why I have the Hellion in this group, because I needed a primary damage dealer.
Another abomination,
So that was a
cleansed
really
from
good
our
damage
lands.
dealt, I have to say. So, I can't do that. I know he was yeah, the point is that, of course, like, it's a thing in Lovecraft where, you know, your ability to fight the horror. And this game doesn't allow you to fight the horror except through standings. But you have complete control of those standings. And as players, we are essentially playing these people. We're not playing the patron. Not really. So it's really interesting to think about who the player character is in this particular game.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. Inspiration and improvement.
Pop.
Destroyed. Foolish horrors.
Oh,
Brought low
bleeding.
and driven into the mud.
Let's fix that. Yeah, so as I was saying, it's a bit interesting thinking about. Thought I was holding on to her. Anyway, it's a bit interesting thinking about, okay, who is the player character? There isn't really a player standing at all. There's a blind player standing and control the front line. It's not really that.
The ground quakes.
Raises all sorts of questions about the horror of this game. So, it's an interesting thing that was discussed by Bernard Merritt as to what counts as horror, scary, or terror. And, look, I'm going to have to reread it, so don't quote me.
Devastating blow.
Precisely remember what is difference in definition between horror, scary, and terror. But it really does raise questions because there is no direct standing. Because is this scary? For anybody who's actually playing this game, yes, it is dark. It is shadowy. Yes, your characters are dealing with stress. But is this really scary? Is it producing any lasting thoughts of almost any kind, really? And I feel like that's an important decision to make, because in a video game, jump scares are of course one way to horror, or is one way to horror, same as with film. But you can also do horror by being thought-provoking, by messing with psychological elements. With video games, it's particularly good at that, because they can use fun features with visuals that, you know, make things shape slightly differently, have things that you can't quite see, but you do actually see. Make that tiny bit of appearance in the game. There's a lot that video games can do that movies, of course, can also do, but not to the same extent. So, on that basis, where is the horror in this game? Would you actually count this as a horror game?
Give them no quarter.
It's certainly a genre game, absolutely. But is it horror? And part of that question does come back to
Their formation is broken.
who are you as a player
Maintain
character?
the offensive.
Who do you identify with as a player? Are you identifying with the characters you're actively playing? Which is, as I was discussing earlier, that's where a lot of the story mechanic of this game comes from, like the emergent story. That comes from this engagement. Okay, that's interesting. We're going to go up there. Shovel time.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Right. Well, I had something about torches. Let me know. Thing I should not forget about. Come on, why? Yes, we should have known better.
The
I
light,
should have known better, but
the promise of
unfortunately, I
safety.
didn't keep on her. Yeah, so what I was thinking about the horror elements is, yes, these characters are suffering stress, but it's in the character, and it's almost a random mechanic that is not felt by the player. So you're dealing with a change, it's resource management, not horror. So where is actually the horror in this game? The characters are getting it, certainly, one way or the other, even if it is largely RNG, the characters have got it. But if we, the players, are not feeling that, then we're not getting it from that. Meanwhile, the Glide character we are playing,
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them
funding
all.
this expedition. I mean, they're not suffering any horror. They get to go in,
Festering fear
literally suffer horror there.
consumes the
But
mind.
like, the patron gets to go in and out as much as they want with no impact. For them, it's just resource management. It's just a game of logistics.
Reeling, gasping,
Where's the horror?
taken over the edge into madness.
It's kind of fascinating thinking about games that sort of online. Obviously, people have their own definitions of what makes a game count as horror or not horror to begin with. But, really dodge. But, yeah. So that is just a little bit of a thought to have in the back of your mind. Most of that isn't really discussing Lovecraftian anything, really, but it does put a little bit of perspective into when you ask the question of, is this a horror game? Is it even
As the
horror?
theme falls,
Like, just because it
a
has
faint
monsters
hope blossoms.
does not make it, you know, a horror. Just because it has monsters does not make it a fantasy. Well, actually, I would argue that that one would arguably be more true, but that depends on now how you're defining a monster. Which is a different conversation. But the point is that there's so much there. Oh no, that's stressed out. Oh, I missed that. Oi! Oh, that was not nice. I don't know what her
Sedated.
debuff or her affliction is. I don't know why she just attacked in the back, but that is a problem. Yeah, he's the only one who can really deal with this, so we're gonna take that off.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Lost trap. Stopping traps is the one thing you're supposed to do. That's why you're here. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna go left first. Oh, I was hoping for a torch. Why were you...
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles,
I mean,
paid for in blood.
I'm not really complaining because clearly you got a lot for that one. Journal page, okay. I guess dumping that. Should look to discard. again. It's supposed to be clicked on. I don't know if I'm misclicking or something. Stabby. No, dodge. Stab. That's the one I wanted to put you on, but I mean, I'll take it. I am so sorry. Good job. Your damage. Just a side note, if anyone's actually particularly interested in horror video games, scary videos, and want to study any amount of actually stuff in strange reason, I do actually quite recommend Bernard Herrmann's work. It is an interesting read. If you just take a look at it in its state, it does have some interesting points. And I say that partly because, hey, it's invaluable to me for my thesis, but also I think it's generally interesting. But, for that said, for most people, you're not really going to watch or care about major academic texts on the subject. Because you want to play games, you want to enjoy games, you want to play from perspective rather than an academic perspective, and or strategy or whatever. Or just the general fun.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Academic level. So, I don't really have any YouTubers that I would recommend. I absolutely love watching things like Pink 4-Star with Crow plays. Those are always fun. Absolutely always fun. But I
Executed with
imagine that there are
impunity.
some very good YouTubers out there. Now I've
Be wary.
encountered,
Triumphant pride
good
precipitates a dizzying
YouTubers
fall.
when it comes to Lovecraft. Like, not necessarily a long list. A few of them are essentially, they just do one video on Lovecraft and that, see, I had her clip. Anyway, they just do like one video on Lovecraft and that is it. But I have come across a few good YouTubers for Lovecraft. What I haven't come across is good YouTubers for horror video games. Of course, Lovecraftian horror is what I'm looking at, but it is interesting to get perspective on horror, and we should forge this place.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
This could be a problem later if I run it, because I'm now more or less out of food. Why did I need to light up there and I could have waited? That was I mean, that worked. Ooh, I don't think I have any shovel. Oh, yes, I do.
Without tools of iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose.
You just got cured. Come on. She was so close to
Many fall in the face of chaos, but not this one. Not today.
Not today. I am very concerned about her stress level. I don't know a good way to bring it down. 90%. So if I get there, I reckon I can stop. I have learned lots of about this game. Get in, get out, and take as much profit with as little risk as possible. The aim. And stick around long enough worth the risk. Because have a look at this, look how stressed she is. I don't like this. It feels as a stress, but now I'm doing damage. And just more stress.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
Yeah, she's gonna die. I mean, nice that you two have
Anger
got some
is
major
power.
that is nice.
Unleash it. Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Just try and kill it as fast as possible. Oh, that's good. That's stuff? No, that's just bypass stuff. Okay, heals. Doesn't stress you. Yeah, this is just pull up. Oh no! Oh, I need to do better than that. Oh, man, no. Oh, this is a big problem. This is a big problem. At least I can fix that. Yeah.
Decimated.
Oh, that could have killed him. That would have been a dead man. Shame. It's a beautiful game. Sounds like big mountain. I don't know why Scottish or Irish accent. I don't know why an Irish accent seems so appropriate there. Maybe it has something to do with big mountains. No, that's self-cure. You know what, we're just going to have to do back one. That is cure blight and that. I should have remembered that you had that, but I didn't. Oh, yeah. Oh no! That's good. Dead. Now you guys get stressed out again.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Don't need those. It's empty. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Have I cleaned enough? Yes, we are getting out of here.
The great ruins belong to us, and we will find whatever secrets they hold.
No, stop that. Whew. What does those things do? It doesn't tell me what the afflictions do. That is actually really annoying. That's good. That is actually really good here. Evasive does get up. Is there a way to see what the afflictions are? Oh, I see I've got a few more people
Competition
joining us. So I
fosters
just want to
skill
remind everybody
and
that
confidence.
I've got a survey. It should be in the description of the video wherever you're watching it. Please take the survey. I need to make sure that it's working fine, and I can only do that by having a few more people take the survey, and preferably take it more than once. Preferably do it, like, don't do it more than once for the same game, but if you can do the survey once for Darkest Dungeon, once for Cultist Simulator, once for whichever game you're familiar with, that would be fantastic. Because that is the most important thing right now, is that I know that the survey is working, so that I don't have to care about it anymore. Like, ultimately, when it comes to the survey is, on the whole, just supplemental data. I don't need it for the thesis, but it would benefit the thesis. So it's optional. I can use it if I want to, if I get good data, if I get enough data, sort of situation. But if I got, say, 50 plus people responding, or even more people responding, and the survey was great, but then I open up the file and I can't check it out, I can't analyze the data, or people are only able to put in for one game, which means only 1 or 2 games are really getting any reviews, then that is not data that I can use, no matter how many people invest in it. So I really want to find out, is it working, will it work going forwards, and that is what I really need at the moment. I need people to just do the survey, so that I can see, is it working how I need it to work. Now, before we continue, I just want to check a couple of things, which is mostly I want to check to see if I have to stop the stream soon or not. Okay, I've got a few messages that people have sent me, but they don't look vitally important. I think somebody is actually trying to give me advice on how to play the game, but which is great. I will definitely read that. But right this second, I am going to try and avoid having Facebook or anything open, because all the pings and all the message notifications come into the screen, so we don't want to do that. But I actually do need to get up physically, so I am going to be putting a bit of a pause on the stream here, actually, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes, approximately. So, I'll see you. Ooh, that is... When did that happen? Oh, I am so sorry. But, yeah, I guess I will see you all